Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into the channel. So I've gotten a lot of requests to do a Webull help section review to go over a lot of the frequently asked questions and to give some additional details into the questions so that you guys can have a better idea of the platform. So without further ado, let's just kind of hop into this. So I am on the Webull.com platform, on the online website. And as you can see, you have your home market trade pricing platform and help section. So we'll go to the help section. And as you can see here, you have 3, 6, 9, 12. You have 13 total categories. The main ones that people want to know a lot about are the account opening tab, deposit and withdrawal, stock transfers, tradings, good faith violations, fees, IRAs, about us, things like that. So let's just kind of start with the top. Let's start from left to right, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, so currently right now, Webull is running a promotion. If you haven't already signed up, I would obviously highly encourage you guys to sign up. If you do love the content and support the channel, I'd encourage you to sign up with the link below to the video. Obviously, there's no obligation to that, but if you do use my link, you will be getting a free Webull stock. And then when you deposit into the account, you get an additional, deposit into the account $100, you get an additional stock. So it's a pretty cool thing. Right now, they have, so they have that to give referral bonuses and stuff like that. So in terms of account opening, so let's just kind of go here. Let's go to the main tab. Let's see what they have. How long does it take to open a Webull account? So, most of the time, they say that they can do it. Uh, it's a very quick approval process. When I opened my account over a year and a half ago, they had me approved within 2 business days. So it's pretty quick. They don't mess around on that. All right, U.S. citizen, what requirements don't need to meet in order to open a brokerage account? I mean, if you have a driver's license, Social Security, over 18 years of old, 18 years of old, 18 years of age, you will get an account opening. So, a lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the account opening categories just because it's just not, it's kind of self-explanatory with that. So let's take here and see if there's anything else that I've gotten a lot of questions on that I could go over just in account opening before I move on. U.S. resident, we got that already. Pre and post market account. Here we go. Yeah, so this is a really good one. Can you trade pre and post market? The answer to that is yes. Webull does allow you to trade after hours. They did not used to allow you to do that. Same thing with a lot of the other free brokerage companies before everything was free. But yeah, you can trade from 4 to 8 p.m. if you want to do that. This is really only for advanced traders, or if you see the market tanking and you want to get out, or you see the market going up and you want to get in, you can do it. But overall, most people can be using the regular hours and or the pre-market if you want to do that. But yeah, you do have those options. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let's see any other important ones. Let's see here. Oh yeah, transaction passwords. I've had people ask me about this particular one, right? I use a transaction password when I go to create orders, market orders, limit orders, things like that. I just put in a quick 6-digit PIN, and some people don't like it. Some people do want that option, and this is how you'd go to do it. You go to the menu, settings, account and security, trading password, change transaction password. All right, it's pretty straightforward. If you do forget it, if you forget your PIN, which I've done twice actually in the past 6 months, they'll send you a verification via your email so that you can just get that reset. It's not a big deal. It's super easy. All right, so that's pretty much it for the account opening. Pretty straightforward stuff. All right, so let's go back. Let's go to the deposit and withdrawals tab. All right, so okay. Let's see here. Verification with 2 micro deposits. All right, so it says enter in the 2 micro deposits. Please make sure that they're in chronological order. All right, so this is just basically if you've had issues putting in the verification deposits. When you open up an account, when you attach your bank account, Webull wants to make sure that you're using your account. So this is pretty standard. They throw in a couple of micro deposits, and you just have to make sure you put that in the right order. This is actually a really good, important one as well. ACH deposits. How long does it take? So with me, it's taken a solid 5 business days, and that's their standard. They usually get the money. I think the money actually hits their accounts within 2 to 3 business days, but they wait in case the bank turns around and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we need to get the money back." It's just that's a standard thing the banks do. I think it's a overly cautious way that they do ACH deposits and transfers to try to to counter any potential money laundering or things like that. All right, so yeah, so it hits their Apex clearing firm. It hits their account within 2 to 3 days, but they say wait for it to fully settles. I just think that basically means we're really waiting to make sure that the sending bank doesn't come back and say that that the money actually isn't in the account for whatever reason. They do give you an immediate deposit amount, which is I think is really cool. All right, so even before the money even settles, like the moment that you hit the deposit, it will actually grant you a partial amount. So I transferred, I think, 25,000 the other day, and they gave me $1,000 to immediately transfer to immediately trade with. Not a big deal, unless you're looking to immediately make some trades. But if you are in that case, then you probably should be doing a wire transfer. All right. Also, if you make a deposit before, I'm sorry, if you make a deposit before 4 p.m., that's considered one business day. If you make it after 4 p.m., then you're on the next business day. All right. So that's pretty much that. All right. So that's kind of straightforward there. Let's see here. What else do we need to cover? Just trying. I'm just going over the most frequently asked questions that I've gotten a lot from people through the videos and through email. Let's see here. Oh yeah, ACH withdrawal cancellations. Okay, so yeah, if you initiate a withdrawal and insufficient funds, I mean that's kind of straightforward. If you put in the wrong right information, obviously that's going to be rejected. Just basically double checking, making sure that you don't have any typos and things like that. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, this is another really important one. If you want to withdraw the funds quickly, different bank accounts are used for income and outgoing transfers. If you do that, they will put a 60-day limit on the 60-day wait period before you can transfer the money out to another account. This is a really, really big one that all brokerage companies use. As a matter of fact, the other two brokerage companies that I use have a 90-day period. So 60 days, I mean, this is pretty standard stuff. Let's see here. Just kind of again, as you guys can see, there's quite a bit of topics, but I'm just going over the real main ones, just in case when you go to the help section, if it's not very clear, if there's like a lot of caveats. Let's see here, fees. Oh yeah, fees for wire transfer. So your bank is obviously going to charge you a fee. So like I have an account with Wells Fargo, and they charge me $35, I think, for the fee. If you do a deposit for domestic wire, you're going to incur $8 fee for the incoming, and then they have a $25 outgoing fee. I don't know. I mean, most people are not going to be using wire transfers unless I typically find people who do wire transfers are people who are transferring large amounts of money, 10, 15, 20,000 or more, and they want to get in on the stock that day. Other than that, 95% of people I think will be doing ACH transfers, so that shouldn't be a problem. Let's see here. Yeah, that's pretty much that. I mean, the reversals, wire transfers is what most of this is about. The micro deposits, so that kind of covers that already. Okay, so all right, so we've hit the account opening, we've hit the deposit and withdrawals, options trading. I'm not going to actually cover options trading, and the reason that I'm not going to cover this is because this is a very complex trading method. Basically, what this allows you to do is you have the option of purchasing shares at a higher or lower price, depending on whether or not you're buying or selling puts or calls. Um, Most people are not going to be using this. If you guys use like a lot of the stock trading platforms, so let's say like not trading, but stock forums like to say StockTwits, you'll see that a lot of the people on there, talk about using options and their calls expiring and whatnot. If you're a newbie to stock trading, or even if you're not, I would highly recommend you stay away from all this stuff. This will go into detail into what they are, covered calls, things like that. But again, I highly, highly recommend you stay away from them. I don't personally trade options, but I know people that do, and it's really pretty much an all or nothing thing. So, but if you are interested into it, you take a look at it, go over the section, and kind of familiarize yourself with it. Okay, so stock transfers. I haven't gotten a lot of people asking questions about this, particularly stock transfers, but I'll go over some of the main ones anyway, just in case you're interested in it. All right, so transfers can I transfer stocks from a cash account to a margin account or vice versa? That I know that you can do, but I don't think. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can do it, but they do put a delay on your transfers. Now, how long that delay is, I'm not entirely sure, but they will put a delay on it. Let me see here. Switching to stock transfer request. Please switch the account type. Yeah, okay, yeah. So they want you to switch your account type before sending your stock transfer request, but you can do it. So yeah, that's probably not something a lot of people are going to be doing. Let's see here. I'm just trying again. I just want to get touch the major ones that the majority of the people. Um, this is actually a really big one too. Transfer stocks to my Webull account. So anytime that you're transferring stocks from any kind of brokerage account, it is the sending brokerage account's responsibility to initiate the transfer. It's not the receivers. So I'm just using they're a great platform, but let's just say E-Trade. If you're trading stocks from your equities or what have you from E-Trade to Webull, you will initiate the transfer on E-Trade side. That's just how the transfers work. All right, but this is just pretty much kind of going over the types of things that you can transfer, your stocks, ETFs, and so forth. Okay. Yep. And then this is just kind of showing you how you can initiate the transfer on the Webull side as well. So you will be initiating the transfer on both sides. You'll do it on the sending side. Let's take E-Trade, Thinkorswim, whoever else you have. Robinhood. Sorry, I start to choke when I say Robinhood. I don't know why. It's just common to start to choke when I say Robinhood. But don't worry, I'm not as unreliable as their platform is during business trading hours. Sorry, I had to do it. So moving on. Yeah, so stock transfer and Webull app. So you go in here, you'll initiate trades. Initiate the trade stock transfer on their side, and then you will wait. And typically it takes, it says 5 to 7 business days. I have found that it takes a solid 7 business days. It's very similar to the ACH transfer process. They really do take their time to make sure that the stocks are there and that there aren't any reverses or things like that. All right. Let's see here. Some of the things that could delay your stocks being transferred. All right. So yes, there's several reasons. If you're giving consistent brokerage confirmation, that's definitely going to be a big red flag. It's probably actually the main thing I think that this caused it that will cause it to delay. So yeah, you really are only going to be doing that if Webull is going to be your main platform. You guys already know how I feel about Webull. I think they're the best on the market. I stand by them. I use them every day. They're not paying me to say this stuff. They're not paying me to make this video. I do it just because I just love their platform. So if you are using it as your main platform, you want to transfer your stocks over. That's how you do it. Okay. So the fun stuff, the meat and potatoes, the stuff that people really want to know about, the trading. Okay. So I could just make 50 videos on trading alone, which I'll probably make some additional ones. But I do want to touch very briefly on actually quite a number of these because this is where really people are going to need to understand how to operate the platform and how to get in and out and stuff like that. So let's just kind of go through the list, right? Day trading, right? So I'm not really going to read off a lot of this because I kind of already know it by heart. But day trading is that if you make a trade on this, if you purchase and sell a trade on the same day, okay, that is considered one day trade. If you have less than $25,000, now this is a FDIC government mandated thing, that if you have less than $25,000 in your brokerage account, you are going to only be allowed to make 3 day trades per 5 business days. Okay, so if you buy and sell a stock, buy and sell a stock, buy and sell a stock, that's it. You're maxed for 5 business days. On the 5th business day, you're still maxed, but on the 6th business day, you can initiate 3 more trades, right? And then however many, however many day trades you have available within a 5 business day period, you can make those day trades. Anything beyond $25,000, you can just go have at it. Now, one of the main things that people ask me about is, okay, is the differences between a margin and a cash account. So what they do is that on a cash account, you're not subject to that, but what they do is that there's a wait period for you to initiate. The funds have to settle for you to initiate an additional trade, and that basically ends up rolling up to about the 3 to 5 business days. So it ends up averaging itself out, and I would just always recommend you go with the margin account because that's just the way to do it. You're gonna want to use that and potentially even margin some time down the road. Pattern day trader, I think I've already touched on that. Okay, so this is all right. So this is showing you what a pattern day trader is. Again, basically, it's just somebody that makes those. It says 4 or more day trades. It's 3 or more day trades. You're safe, but then the moment that you hit the fourth day trade during the 5 business days, you actually will be flagged as a pattern day trader. And then what will happen is you will get what's called an EM call or an emergency margin call, and they will basically say, hey, if you have $3,000 in your account, we need $22,000 within 3 business days in this account. Otherwise, we could potentially subject your account to penalties or like freezing your account or whatnot. Typically, what I have found will happen is that they'll give you one forgiveness. I don't actually even like telling people this because I find that most people who are actually inclined to hit that pattern day trader rule, they don't have the money, they'll be inclined to do it again. But they'll give you one forgiveness, which basically means that if you make 4 day trades within a 5 business day period, and you get an EM call, an emergency, margin call to, fund your account, get your account to 25,000. You called me, say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I was intending to hold on to it overnight, hit the wrong button, yada yada. They would usually send that request over to a different department. They'll review it. They'll give you one forgiveness to where it's just basically a reset. That doesn't mean that you can do another uh, uh, 3 trades within 5 business days. You still have to wait the remaining period, but you won't be subject to having your account frozen and stuff like that. If you do it a second time, you can almost guarantee that your account will be frozen 90 days or more. It's actually a pretty serious rule. So let's touch on the GFV. That's a tongue twister. Good faith violation. Okay, so that's when a cash account opens a position with unsettled funds and has liquidated the stocks before the 2 trading days have passed. So when you have a margin account, right, you can buy and sell a stock. Let's say you buy a stock and sell it for $1,000, right? Those funds have to settle, but you are allowed to initiate more trades, although the funds haven't settled because you have a margin account. Well, with the cash account, you have to wait for the funds to settle for two trading days, but they do have a good faith violation that if you do initiate a purchase of additional funds that haven't settled, they will give you a forgiveness. All right, and it says here if you've done it a second time, they'll close it for 90 days. Excuse me, not second time. Fifth time. Excuse me. The second time, um, it'll take additional days for it to settle. Okay, so yeah, so the second time you can only use settled funds, and the fifth time they close you for 90 days. You don't ever want to have to get that, so we're not really going to worry about that. Most people don't run into these issues. Again, I mean that anybody who's day trading, they understand the really important rules with the margin accounts. So it's not that hard to follow. You just have to know it's not something to play around with or try to toe the line because they will shut your account down. And at that point, when a brokerage company shuts your account down, well, they have it's kind of like a no-fly list, right? If you get penalized on one, you'll get penalized on the other. That doesn't always happen, but you just don't want to be flagged with the financial company for breaking the rules. So make sure you stay in agreement with those guys. So this is a really big one. Leverage. Okay, actually, you know what? I hate to do that to you. Now you're getting excited. Let me go back. Let me go back to the canceled orders first, right? So I've touched this in one of my main videos. With that, is that when you have an order gets canceled, the market closed, it's because you have it in as an open day order and not a good to close. Pretty much it, right? So make sure that if you want to put an order in to buy Tesla or Apple, whatever else you want to buy, Myrna, I don't know, GE, Whirlpool, at a certain lower price point, and if you want to put that order in for 60 days or less, make sure you put that in as a GTC. All right, good to canceled order. Otherwise, it'll cancel and you'll go about your merry day and you'll be like, oh, yeah, cool. Whirlpool dropped to the price I wanted. And then you'll think that you're automatically in and then you realize that your order got canceled 2 weeks ago. So make sure that's a really important thing. And vice versa, too, right? You don't want to put a good to cancel order in and you only want to be in for the day. Okay, so leverage. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. Margin account with at least $2,000 in net account value, you will get up to 4 times day trade buying power and 2 times overnight buying power. What that means is that if you have $2,000 in your account, you can trade up to $8,000 automatically for the same day. Now, what will happen is that If you do not liquidate at least half of that, right? Because you only have 2 times overnight trading power, you will get a margin call and they will liquidate for you. I've seen situations where they will liquidate for you, and I've seen some situations to where they'll liquidate. They won't liquidate, but they'll hit you with an emergency margin call overnight, and then you run into all sorts of problems. It's 50-50. Most of the time, they'll liquidate. All right, cash accounts obviously don't have margins because it's a cash account, so that just basically means whatever money's in there, that's what you're buying and trading with. Okie dokie. A word of caution for leverage, okay, specifically for new guys and new gals who are just getting into stock trading. Guys, I've been doing this for over 10 years, and I don't say that from a bragging aspect because I haven't made a ton of money, but I've learned, I like to say I've learned a lot of lessons from education, right? I've paid definitely some university education fees through day trading and swing trading and all this stuff over the years. Margin is not something to take lightly, particularly if you are day trading. If you want to buy and hold a stock for a couple of weeks or a month and you want to trade on margin, that's one thing, so long as you're on the right side of the trade. But I have seen lots and lots of people, even seasoned veterans, lose a lot of money using margin, particularly using the 4 times day trading buying pattern. You guys have to understand that algorithms and institutions, they are designed to take your money. They're very smart at it. They're very skilled. They have more money, faster computers, artificial intelligence, and then some. They know what they're doing. So if you are using 4 times day trading buying power to super leverage up on the stock, thinking that you're going to make a lot of money or scalp, 1 or 2%, you better know what you're doing because even if you are a day late or a dollar short, you will get margin called. That is my disclaimer at Casey's Castle. Moving on. Okie dokie. Placing an order. I've covered this already in my other videos. I'm sure you guys have watched them. If you haven't, shame on you. Please go back and watch those videos. I think they're very informative. And obviously, make sure that you like them and leave comments because that's how I know you guys are engaged, that you like the video, you like the content, and you want more of it. All right. So I kind of already touched on this in the other topic and the other topic up top, but orders placed from 4 to 8 p.m. on business days. Right. That's also that's considered the extended hours also, right? Regular hours on Central Standard Time is 7 to 3. Eastern Standard Time is going to be 8, not 3, excuse me. 7 to 3, and then Eastern Standard Time. Oh, sorry, I'm getting my hours mixed up here, fellas. It's kind of late. What am I doing here? Extended hours 4 a.m. to 9:30, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the regular market hours, I'm drawing a blank here. I want to say 7 to 3 Central and 8 to 4 Eastern. There we go. Got it right. All right. So placing an order, and you can do it on the web portal, right? I don't think a lot of people use the web portal. I use the Android platform. I love it. It's my main app. It's just top notch. But again, pretty straightforward stuff. If you want to get more actual detailed instruction or walkthroughs on it, go back and watch the other video and to give you instructions on how to do that. I even also cover the other the market order types as well, right? So I don't know if I want to cover the order types here. I probably won't because I've already covered it in another video. But what the heck? Since you're watching, so I'll go ahead and give it to you. All right. So you got your limits, you got your markets, you got your stop orders, and your stop limits. The limit order is just basically when you want to buy stock at a price that's beneath where it currently is. Market order is when you want to enter in a stock or get out of a stock immediately at the best price. A stop order is usually when you want to get out of an order if a stock drops and hits a certain stop loss order, right? So I think you have a stop limit order to where an order will transition from a stop to a limit and then will execute at your desired price. So if you want more clarification on that, go back and watch the other videos, and that should help you out with that. Okie dokie. Moving on. Let's see here. RT call. What am I missing about RT call? Oh, regulation T. Yeah. So this is when basically, this kind of touches on what I was telling you guys about with, if you use your 4-time leverage or your 3-time leverage and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to sell at the market close, right? So if it's not met for the due date, then this says here that they're just going to flat out force a liquidation. Again, you don't want to deal with this kind of stuff. It's like you're dealing with banks. They're smarter. They know all the tricks. If you thinking about it, someone's already tried it. So make sure you liquidate before that certain time is over at the end of the business day. Okie dokie. I've already touched the margin requirements. I bought a stock on the NYC Nasdaq. It's been delisted and been traded on OTC markets. What should I do? This is a really good question. This actually happened if you go back to, actually didn't even get delisted, but if you go back to like forward in 2008 when we had the stock market crash, right, the recession. Well, Ford actually got delisted off the market, and then they basically, they did a foreclosure. They got delisted. They came back as a different ticker symbol, and everyone who was in that ticker lost all their money. Right. So if you're trading a really risky NYSE and Nasdaq stock, and and it goes down to an OTC, right? It says try to close position in the app by yourself. It doesn't work. Contact Help Center. What this really means, translation is, I can't, I'm not going to say it, but it involves your, and then the next word is F, you, and then ends with a D. All right. If you guys follow my channel, you know I'm not like a lot of these other YouTube people who are trying to sell you anything, who are trying to tell you about buying, these penny stocks that went up 100% overnight and stuff like that. I've been there, I've done it, I've tried it. I've worked with guys who have done penny stocks. There's the Timothy Sykes who's been doing it for years and years, who he no longer does it. That stuff is a pipe dream. Okay, you have no business under any circumstances trading any type of penny stock or super high volatile stock that's low price that could be delisted. That's not what my channel is about. That's not what I teach you guys. I teach you about strong fundamentals. I teach you about strong technical analysis. I teach you about being patient, investing, dollar cost averaging, finding strong stocks, finding stocks that are priced well below what their current valuation is. Buy the Apples, buy the Teslas, buy the Nutanixes, buy the things that are, growth value stocks. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, and you can make a lot of money. Apple went up. Apple was up like, God, what was it? I can't even think of the percentage, but I think it was the fastest. It was the highest percentage growing stock, I think, in 2000 and what are we looking at? I think it was 19. Yeah, it was last year. So when we had that really big pullback in 18 in December, Apple dropped a ridiculous amount. If you had bought down there in 2019, it went up like it was a ridiculous amount. So it was the largest. I think it was like 45, 50%. Don't scam me, guys, if I don't have the percentage right, because I'm just kind of going off the head here. But I know that it was the highest percent gaining stock on the Nasdaq for last year. And you know what? That's $1 trillion stock. So there are ways to make a lot of money really fast if you know what you're doing without losing your shirt. Stay away from penny stocks. That's my second disclaimer. Okie dokie. Moving on. How do you long or short a stock? So, in terms of long and short in a stock, long in a stock is obviously buying. Short in a stock is when you're basically borrowing shares. You're giving it to someone who wants to buy the stock, and then you basically will then buy that back at hopefully a lower price than when you sold it at. It sounds really complicated, but it isn't. It's just literally hitting the sell button on a stock. Um, People say that that's an advanced technique. I don't know. I don't think it is advanced. It's the same thing as buying. It's just the opposite, right? So you see a stock about to drop, you want to short it, go right ahead. Although I will tell you, most people, when you're shorting the stock, you want to short it because it's up so much and it's going to pull back. Or when you don't want to buy a stock, you want to buy it because it's pulled back and think it's going to go up. All right. So DRIPs, dividend reinvestment plans. All right. They don't support these, but what these basically are is that basically your any kind of dividends that you get, that they will reinvest for you automatically. Webull doesn't do this for you. It's not a big deal. You just have to kind of remember to go back in there and use your dividends to purchase additional shares. All right, so let's see here. Order done extended hours. We've already gone over that. Hard to borrow stocks, right? This only applies to people who are shorting stocks. It's not a super difficult thing to understand or comprehend, but a lot of the times you'll need to call people. You'll need to call Webull if it's a really hard to borrow stock. You do pay interest on borrowing the stock as you're borrowing someone else's stock to short. Most people are not going to be shorting stocks unless it's something that you're familiar with and you know about already. But it's good to know that it's there and that you can do it. All right, so kind of gone through all of that, So that looks to be good. You guys can see the trading tab is a hell of a lot larger than the other ones. And again, I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible, but I want to make sure it's thorough and that we kind of go over all the main ones. All right. This one, trading is currently forbidden due to your account restrictions. Again, I'm giving you guys lots of warnings. There's no reason if you follow my channel that you should run into the dreaded trading is currently forbidden due to your account restriction. It just couldn't. It's just not going to happen. If you're following my channel and you're following what I'm inputting, this just isn't going to happen. All right. Account restrictions. This usually means that, well, yes or no, right? I mean, if you're doing some suspicious stuff, then I can't help you, right? But there are some legitimate reasons why your account may, be restricted. I can't think of those, but I'm trying to give you an out. Obviously, margin call is a really big one. Again, that's the whole leveraging. After hours, 4 times your margin. Don't do it. All right. So yeah, in that case, you call Webull, and then they politely tell you they can't help you. All right. Let's see here. We kind of already talked about this one. Let me just click on this to see if they'll. Yeah, so this is what this will look like, by the way, the EM call. All right, so let's see here. Yep, and we may be able to lift the flag for you as one-time service. They almost always do. Second PDT, 90 days, cannot be lifted, 90-day restriction. All right, so we've already touched on that. All right, let's see here. IPO secondary offerings. I'm not going to go over that because I don't like them. I stay away from them. They're mostly risky. You almost always lose money. That's simple. Okay. Let's see here. Just trying to go over some other ones. Fractional shares is when you're purchasing literally self-explanatory a fraction of a share. Um, I actually don't even know that Webull supports fractional shares. Excuse me. That's actually I'm learning something here myself. So they're referencing the stock split. There may be shares that are equal to less than full value. I'm aware of that. Let's see here. Cash in lieu, divide the fraction shares. Okay, so they're just talking about basically if you purchase a stock and then it gets split to where it's less than the original share. That they'll round up or round down if it's a full share, or vice versa, and then they'll cash out the fractional shares. That's basically what that is. Yeah, I don't think they're supported by default, but you have it. All right. Tax documents. I know this is one of the things people dread to go over, right? Because either it has to do with you losing money or making a lot of money. But if you're interested in your tax documents, go to Webull icon, go to more, go to tax documents, kind of self-explanatory. All right. All right. Let's see here. IOI. I'm not even sure what this is. IOI, indication of interest, is a non-binding condition. Indication of interest in a specific security that's currently in registration and awaiting approval. Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to encounter IOI. At least I don't think we are. So let's just go ahead and disregard that one. Okie dokie. Okay, so that is the trading. All right, so we got all of those fees and commissions, right? So as far as the fees are concerned, Webull does not, as everyone knows, they don't charge fees on making transaction trades, things like that, right? They do have interest for if you're, when you're using margin. So if you're using margin, you are going to incur this on an annual basis. So this does also calculate. It's factor and calculate basically. It does calculate weekends. So if you're borrowing $0 to $25,000, you're going to pay 7%. So you just take however much you're borrowing, take that percentage divided by 360 because that's how many days are in a year, and then however much that is, that's how much you're going to be paying on a per day basis. So they kind of give you the calculation down here: 25,000, 6.99 to Q wave 77, Q wave sane 7, right? 30,000 subtract 25,000 times 6, 4.9%. All right, 2 divided by 360 is 1151. All right, now it looks like they incur it, you incur it monthly. So, however many days you're using the margin, you'll see that deducted from your account the following month. Okie dokie, let's see here. Let's go over the commission and fee structure. All right, so we already know that Webull is a commission, zero commission company in terms of placing trades. Most brokerage companies are nowadays, but Webull was one of the first ones to kind of change the game. Robinhood, man, my throat again, was the first one but that's about all they did. They gave you free commissions and they just said F it and figure it out yourself. Um, but Webull is the first one, I should say, that actually gives you a top-notch platform. No commissions, all that good stuff. Trading fees. There's a very, very, very small amount that is signed through the SEC. That's mandatory. It's very minor. All right, and then this kind of goes over the FINRA trading fee. All right, so this is just kind of basically a breakdown of all of the total fees so that you don't get any surprises. Commissions, nothing. Contact fees, nothing. Transaction fees, very nominal, but it's through the SEC. It's not Webull. Trading activity fee, very small. This is if you're doing contracts. Again, that's options. You probably don't want to mess with that, or at least not if you're a beginner. Option exchanges, so forth. Clearing fee, very small nominal fee. All right. Let's see here. So we kind of went over the margins already. We went over the wires. We went over the domestics, the international. I don't think we talked about that. Yeah, I don't think we talked about the international ones. But yeah, it's 12.50 and 45. If you want to withdraw, it's 12.50 and 45 to deposit and withdraw respectively. Okie security transfers. All right, so this is one of the gotchas that I'm just like, okay. If you do have stocks in Webull and you want to transfer them out, it's $75. All right, so that is that. Okie dokie. So we've kind of already gone over those. Those are the fees. All right, so we've hit the account openings, we've hit the deposit and withdrawals, we skipped over the options, we've hit the stock transfers, we've hit the trading, we've gone over the fees. IRA. So I'm not going to touch a lot on the IRA. I'm kind of going to go over this one, but for all of you that aren't familiar with this, this is basically an investment retirement account. This is basically for people who don't have a 401k through their business. This allows you to be able to put money into, I call it a brokerage account, which it is, but it's just a tax haven brokerage account. Basically, if you're an individual, the government allows you to put up to $6,000 into a brokerage account that is completely tax-free, so long as you don't withdraw it at the retirement age. Now, that is a Roth IRA. A traditional IRA, you'll basically be doing tax deductions at the end of each year, and then when you go to take the money out is when you actually will pay taxes when you retire. So I may make a separate video on IRAs altogether because this actually does warrant its own video, so to kind of get into these. But at least you know that they do support IRAs. All right, insured and protected. This is one of those things that no brokerage account is actually insured per se, right? So it does say that it protects the securities customers up to 500,000, 250 of cash, but that doesn't have to do with like trading and making losses. This just has to do with like if the company itself goes bankrupt. So if Webull tomorrow says, "Hey, I just want to go and clear up shop, and we want to take the money and run. That we're whatever for whatever reason," and people go, "Wait, I can't log into my account anymore. Where's all my money at?" Right? Don't worry about it. They're saying your money's 100% guaranteed. That you're not going to lose it up to these certain amounts. Any respectable company is going to be SIP insured or some type of financial insured. So don't worry, they're super safe, super top notch. They've been in business a while. They're growing. They're getting the name out there. They are the bomb. So no worries about that. So just in case you guys were worrying about, are they a legit company? Or we're gonna. I mean, I've had over $100,000 with them. I have quite a bit of money still with them now, in the tens of thousands of dollars. I've transferred money out. I've transferred money in. I've called their customer service. I'm a stickler for this stuff, guys. Particularly with fast service and there not being any hiccups, particularly with money showing up or things like that. And I've had no issues, so they're great. Let's see here. Why Webull? Well, the first thing is because I went to Casey's Castle's channel and he keeps talking about him, and that's why, because the man believes in him. But Webull, this is their reasons why. No commissions, extended trading hours, free access to the desktop, which I've done a couple of videos on. I'm sure you guys have watched it. If you haven't, please go back and watch those. Very in-depth detail. Analysis tools, I've gone over that as well. Their analysis tools are top-notch. They're very simple so that you can, if you're a very newbie user, they're not overly intimidating. They're very easy to use. The support levels, technical analysis, things like that. But if you want some more advanced tools, they have them. 24/7. I actually have not had to engage them after hours. I've almost always called them within business hours, but they are 24/7, which actually I didn't even know. So there you go, another reason. And their community, yeah. So they have paper trading competitions all the time, which is super cool. You can trade with up to $1 million paper trading account for people who are kind of still trying to get used to the platform. There's also a community where they share their trading ideas and they trade. They share the sentiment on the market and things like that. So quite a number of reasons to go with those guys. That is pretty much the majority of it. All right. So for the most of it, and we've so if I go up to the top here, we've gone over these, right? We have touched on. Let's see here, the platform itself. You pretty much just got to download the desktop, right? So they have the web platform, which is super cool. Um, Actually, if I go over here, this is the platform here, just so you guys can take a look at it. It's a pretty cool tool. It reminds me of another web platform, Trading Charts, I think, that's web based. If you guys like the web based stuff, I do most of my trading on the app, but you have that option. Let's see here if I miss anything important here. Anything from a platform standpoint, from high level. I think they support Apple and Mac. Actually, Apple and Mac, PC and Apple. All right, the data disclaimer. Oh yeah, so they do have a. If you have, if you don't have their data monthly subscription, you will get delayed data. It's not a big deal if you're not day trading and you just want to buy stock and you want to hold it for a couple of days or the next day or whatever. But if you're day trading, you may want to go ahead and get their monthly subscription service that allows you to get real time quotes and also level two as well. Because no day trader is going to trade without level two and real time quotes. So they have that. Let's see here. The desktop, these kind of go hand in hand. Again, other video talks about that already. Indicators, financial indicators. I won't touch on any of this today, just because that's a whole nother video about different indicators and things of that nature. But we did go over quite a bit of information, topics, things like that today. The major things that need to be discussed. Let's see if I missed anything in terms of markets at a high level. Can you cancel your advanced quote subscriptions? Yes, if you do have one, right? So this even kind of walks you through how to cancel it. Most people I know that sign up and have their that have the I'm sorry, I can't think here. That have their monthly data feeds, they usually end up keeping it because it's their main platform. It's pretty cheap, so it's like, why not do it? All right, so let's see here. Yep, you can toggle on or off. That's pretty easy. Just literally hit the extended toggle on or off button. And yeah, and then I guess people that want to know about the real time and delayed, right? So this is what it looks like on your phone and also on the web app, right? This is if you have the real time data, right? And if it's delayed, you will know because you will not see that. So that is how you will know whether or not you're getting delayed data. Guys, that's about it. I have covered about as much as I possibly can, as far as tonight is concerned. Hopefully, this is a very thorough video. Hopefully, you guys have watched all the other videos. If you have not already, please make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. So this is a no nonsense, to the point, substance-based YouTube video and YouTube channel based on financial education and keeping you guys abreast with what's going on in the news. There's a lot of different YouTube channels on here that are more entertainment based than they are substance and content, and that's all fine and dandy. Power to them. There's a lot of different channels in here that'll give you the overly basics, like dumbed down basics that doesn't really have any real meat and potatoes and nothing that you can actually grab onto and start investing and applying. This channel is going to give you guys hopefully the best of both worlds. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys content that you can use, that you can leverage, that you can actually follow through on, and that you can build on to become not only financially successful, but just a lot more aware as to the things that are going on around us from a financial aspect. So yeah, thanks so much for watching the video. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, share it with your friends, partners, all that good stuff. And then also, please let me know any additional videos that you guys would like to see in the comments below. If there's additional Webull videos, if there's something that I haven't covered, please make sure you let me know. Grill me about it. I will be unbelievably apologetic, and then I will hopefully reply back with what you're looking for. Also, if there's any additional, things that you guys see online or things you have questions about, IRAs, things of that nature, leave those comments below because I definitely look forward to you guys' feedback so that I'll know that one, that it's receptive, and two, I have additional content. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this is a valuable video, and talk to you later. Cheers.